And we can recognize that there is a higher order purpose happening here, which is that the content of our lives is showing up for a particular reason. And that reason is to help us to evolve our soul.
Rather than seeing life as you said, as victims, that we are victims of circumstances, that we really actually, what if it's really true that we are the creators, that we are creating what is in our environment in order for us to evolve and to grow.
This is The Becoming, a podcast about the sacred and powerful journey of awakening and becoming who you truly are.
We're your hosts, Kate and Judy Moon. As a mother-daughter duo with many years of experience in coaching and personal transformation and lifetimes of wisdom between us, together we explore what it truly means to come alive, living with deeper meaning and purpose, breaking generational chains, reclaiming freedom, and guiding the soul's return to wholeness.
Through soulful conversations about healing, transformation, and the power of MDMA-assisted therapy, along with raw, behind-the-scenes reflections and insights that illuminate the path forward, we invite you into a journey that's not just about healing your past. It's about breaking through the invisible barriers that have kept you stuck and finally stepping into the life you've always known you were meant for.
Whether you're in the middle of a heartbreak, an awakening, a breakdown, or a breakthrough, you're not alone. This is The Becoming.
You know, Judes, for the two of us, I would say that one of the most important beliefs that you and I hold is that the content of our lives is the curriculum of our soul's evolution. This has been a theme that we bring back on a very regular, if not daily, if not sometimes moment-to-moment basis.
To remind ourselves that all the insanity really has a purpose.
Well, because I think it's really common for it to feel like life is happening to us.
Yes.
And that we're the victim of the circumstances and the winds and the waves of the world. Whereas the truth of it is that what this perspective allows us to do is to zoom back, really become the observer of our lives and zoom out as if we're standing on top of a mountain and we're observing ourselves and we're observing our lives. And we can recognize that there is a higher order purpose happening here, which is that the content of our lives is showing up for a particular reason. And that reason is to help us to evolve our soul.
And ultimately, Kate, I think what we're talking about when I'm listening to what you're saying here, and we've had a million conversations about this, of course,
over the years,
like a million, is that we really are the creators of our lives.
Right.
Even when it feels like some hard stuff is happening and we would prefer that that wasn't what was showing up, that it really puts us in the driver's seat. Rather than seeing life as you said, as victims, that we are victims of circumstances, that we really actually, what if it's really true that we are the creators, that we are creating what is in our environment in order for us to evolve and to grow.
And I can hear someone say, well, I didn't create this.
Well, I remember 1.5 million years ago in my late 20s, having my massage therapist teacher share with me that I had created some circumstances at that point in my life. And I was like, that was the first time I actually had heard that perspective.
What was this, in like the late 70s, probably?
Well, it was
early
actually probably about 1981.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you've got to be kidding.
I didn't create a child that was born with all of these handicaps and that died. I didn't create
that wasn't my choice, and I didn't create the death of my husband, my first husband. What are you, crazy?
I'm not the creator of this.
And
why would I choose this?
Why would
this
I
is
choose
so horrible.
that?
Why would I choose this?
So I was still very much I was bridging the gap between the physical realities that we live in and a higher perspective, a higher spiritual perspective about what we are really here on this earth to do and to be and to learn.
Right.
And so that was like, whoa. Very quickly, though, to be honest, I joined that camp
Mm-hmm.
within a year. Really, just hearing that for the first time, it actually began to make sense to me and have me to feel that I had actually more agency in my life,
Right.
and that these things were not just random that occurred. Now, it's hard, at that point in my life, I couldn't have tied it up in a neat bow and understood it all.
And you
But
certainly didn't understand it to the degree that you have unpacked it at this point,
well,
this
that's
juncture in your
no, and
life.
that's what I was just going to say. Now, the long view,
Yeah.
I have a very different perspective of it. And indeed, I did, in terms of not Judy, here on earth in this earth
In
suit,
this meat suit.
in this meat suit, but Judy, the soul.
I think what we're really ultimately talking about here, it is a spiritual perspective that we are all incarnated in earth school here on earth. And in the same way that when we go to school as children or as teenagers or as adults, and we enroll in a course to learn and to grow our understanding in a particular area, you sit down in class and you are given a syllabus. You are given a curriculum that is going to take you through step by step what is required in order to grow, in order to evolve, in order to learn the lessons that will take your understanding and awareness from X level to Y level.
And it's all neatly laid out for us in earth school,
In
isn't it?
school or in
Or no,
school.
in school. No, in earth school,
Your
it is.
school might be a little more
No, it's not.
complicated.
It's a little like things feel like they're coming out of left field. I'm just saying.
And sometimes it's not just like a neat sequence. Sometimes it's like it's snowballing. It's all happening at once. It's like,
Boom.
okay, yeah,
Like
perfect
shit
storm.
is really hitting the fan. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to laugh in this moment, but yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And it kind of does come in threes.
Or a multiple of threes.
A multiple of threes. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the Jewish mystical tradition
Mm.
of Kabbalah, what they talk about with the concept of the Tikkun is that our Tikkun is our soul's correction or a repair. And in the tradition of Kabbalah, they believe in a soul's evolution over many lifetimes. So it could be over this tikkun follows a soul from lifetime to lifetime, or it could be in this particular lifetime. And it is the idea that we come in with a certain type of curriculum.
Mm.
And what you and I have really seen is like, over the years, you and I have adopted this idea of the soul's curriculum. And so from day to day, moment to moment, month to month, year to year, you and I will pull the car over to the side of the road as things are occurring, and we will take these out and look at them and say, okay, so what is going on in my life right now? This thing that's really hard, or this thing, this person that's in my life, or this circumstance, what is this here to teach me? What is this here to help me evolve with?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the whole concept with Tikkun is really fascinating because it's really more of an overarching pattern of lessons that we receive in our lives.
Pattern of lessons that actually have a commonality,
Yeah.
that have a theme.
There's a theme.
There's a theme going through it.
Yes.
And that if we are really aware about what is happening in our lives and we're on that journey of growing
Mm-hmm.
and eagerly on that journey, even when it's challenging, we can begin to see the threads
Yeah.
that they kind of morph into.
They morph into something that almost feels bigger than we are. Something I've seen really commonly with people is that they will feel like they have done their work, that they recognize a pattern or a theme, and they feel like they have gone in, they have faced the dragon, and then if the theme reappears, they beat themselves up like, oh, or even maybe they don't even beat themselves up, but they feel so frustrated because
And
and
defeated.
defeated
Yeah.
because it's like, I thought I already dealt with this.
But it kind of comes in through the side door over here
Right.
or the back door. Sometimes it comes right into the front door.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, here it is again. So here's where the opportunity is, Kate.
Hmm.
So we always talk about notice what you're noticing.
Yeah.
Notice, I mean, first, that is the number one awareness practice in this universe
It is.
and it's a self-awareness. Like, so what am I noticing here?
Yeah.
I'm noticing this pattern.
Yeah.
So instead of feeling defeated or feeling like a victim or really angry almost at what's coming,
Yeah. What's coming up?
for us,
Yep.
it's like, okay, I get it. What do I need to learn here? What do I need to see?
What gift is this here to give me?
Yeah.
What gift is this? What is this revealing to me?
What is this revealing to me? Absolutely.
What you and I have really seen in all of the healing journeys that we have been a part of, whether it's our own or people that we friends that we're witness to or our clients,
Mm-hmm.
is that we like to think that healing is somehow a linear process, and it couldn't be further from the truth.
It just keeps on coming back for just another angle,
Another angle. But
another level.
what it feels like to me is that healing truly is a spiral. So
Mm-hmm.
we continue as we're going up this spiral of awareness, of healing,
Of becoming.
of more self-awareness.
Yeah.
We hit the same theme over and over and over again.
With just a little bit of little different flavor.
A little different flavor, a little different color. However,
And a different depth, Kate.
that's what I was going to say, is that it's at another level.
It is at another level.
It's at a higher level or a deeper level.
Yeah.
And so
Which is absolutely for us.
it is for us.
And why we didn't initially, let's just say we're on this spiral, why didn't we get what it came to give us back then, whenever
Mhm.
then was, is that we are evolving and our nervous systems will only allow us to have the awareness that we're ready for at any particular time.
Right.
It's not in one fell swoop.
No.
One
We would
MDMA journey is not, it's not going to be one fell swoop.
No. I think if we really allowed the full impact of whatever occurred for us, whether it was, the pain, the grief, the abuse, if we allowed the full impact of that to hit us, to
Oh.
our nervous system, it would kill us.
We'd be like
We would be horizontal
with no breath.
with no breath.
Yeah.
And so our nervous system pads it for us.
Well, and that's the whole safety thing.
And that's a beautiful thing. There's
It's a
nothing wrong
beautiful
with
thing.
that.
It actually keeps us alive.
So I think that, again, what we're talking about here are a lot of different perspective shifts that are available to us. Again, we can see, oh my God, life is happening to me, or life is happening with me, through me, for me.
And get curious about it.
Exactly. Or you can say, oh my gosh, this thing, like it's circled back again. I thought I already dealt with this. Or we can say, oh wow, there's something more here for me. There's more gold
for me. There's something here more for me. There's more gold to mine.
There's more gold to mine. It's like we're like sifting for gold.
Yeah.
And the stuff is really, it's not that it's comfortable, but it is always, always for us.
And it's sacred, Kate.
It is.
It's sacred
Mm.
because we are evolving beings. And the more that we can touch into the divinity within us and connect with our soul and our soul's purpose of what we're really here in this earth suit, in this human form, it's not just random. I mean, these bodies of ours are just brilliant, and it's not just random. And I think so many of us have this yearning for really getting why we are here and what we're here to contribute, that it has to be more. If it's just this, it seems so meaningless. Like
What
all
the
this
F are we up to?
and all this stuff that we're going through, like why? It has to, damn it, it has to, it just has to have a reason and a purpose for us, and that we're evolving. But that's the beauty of it.
Something that you and I always sensed before is about the soul contracts how we travel in soul pods together. And again, how us bumping up against each other's souls is part of this ultimate evolution
It's
towards a higher
it's like
order purpose.
like bumper cars
It's like
when you
bumper
say bumper,
cars.
yeah.
I know it
Like
is.
like we're all in that little whatever it is, bumping into each other.
So we always sensed this,
Yeah.
but what I know for sure is that our deep, deep work with the MDMA
Mhm.
has shown us. It's interesting because you can always, there's the difference between, oh, I've heard of this, I've read about it, that makes sense to me intellectually. And when you come to a knowing deep inside of your very being, and you and I have come to a deep knowing about souls through our work with MDMA.
We've experienced it, and that's all I can say. It's somatically, it's a knowing, it's a deep experience of the knowing. And I remember in my very first journey, it being really pretty much a life review. And bless her heart, the guide that guided
Mm,
me got to hear my whole life story,
yeah.
all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of it was grief and some hard
Mhm.
things that I was reviewing. And yet the beauty of it, by the time I was complete, I actually, the blessing was I saw and felt and knew that everything that occurred, even the birth of my child that that
The
died,
past, yeah.
that passed, the death of my first husband. I had two brothers with that
Mhm.
died in infancy. And all the relationships, the toughness, the ups and the downs, and all of that had felt so burdensome, or so honestly, not even as burdensome, but confusing. Like, why did all this kind of stuff happen in
Mhm.
my life? It was all perfect. It was like the threads together, the personalities, the human relationships, the all of that was perfect.
And this is where the souls come in, the soul contracts
On a
come in.
soul level, I saw that each one of the souls, my mother, my father, obviously you and me, it's like no
Mhm.
brainer.
Duh.
Duh. Um, that we all had a soul contract.
Yeah.
And this may sound a little bit crazy to some of our listeners. I've got a feeling that maybe many of our listeners probably resonate with this to one degree or another. But this is what, Kate, what we've been shown.
I
Like,
also believe that when we hear truth, even if we don't understand truth, it resonates inside of us, that it's like a tuning fork.
yeah,
If you like
totally.
play, I don't know, let's say, a B sharp on a piano. And if you have a tuning fork that's a B sharp, they're both going to resonate on the
Resonate.
same level because
Yeah.
we're talking about energy. We don't have to understand energy in order for it to resonate inside of us.
And I don't actually believe that we're meant in this human form to necessarily understand it at in this on this human
I don't think
kind
that
of
we ever
intellect.
will.
No.
However, you and I have both had really
We're not gonna
beautiful
understand it up here. It's
Mhm,
not gonna we can get it, we can know it
in the body.
in the body.
You and I have both had very mystical experiences where we do see the perfection and we do experience the necessity of these two souls coming together and the abrasion,
Mhm.
the challenge. And it's only because of the challenge that there is a catalyst to grow and evolve and move forward. Unfortunately, as human beings, we're pretty lazy in all of the ways. Like we will always gravitate back towards comfort. And so it's usually in the discomfort and the pain that we are pushed to grow. And so much to
So
our
we
chagrin.
we wonder why, like, this Earth school has so much edginess to it.
Yeah. And so I think our invitation for you today listening is to really bring a compassionate glance to your own tikkun. To number one, as Jude's you were saying, to start noticing what you're noticing.
Yeah.
I really believe that it is only through deep self-awareness that we can begin to bring more healing to these themes in our lives, but also to not be beating ourselves up or to feel so discouraged when themes come back again. I know that for myself, I think I have, I resonate with many different tikkuns, but I definitely, one of my big ones is about abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is, betrayal. Another
Mm-hmm.
one is about trust.
Worthiness. I mean,
Hmm.
we could, and I think that, I mean, the truth of it is that I think many of us have very similar tikkuns. That's part of being a human being. It's called the
Of
human
course, it
condition.
is.
And to really be able to see that these tikkuns that continue to kind of circle in our lives, it's just an invitation.
Hmm.
And also this idea of a willingness to listen is so important, and even an eagerness to
Hmm.
understand.
Yeah,
Because on the other side of that, Kate, is freedom.
right.
And we have experienced that as we have been eager and willing to listen and to do the deeper work, that there is a tremendous sense of freedom on the
Hmm.
other side that is peace
Yeah.
and a deeper acceptance of all the messy humans,
Mm.
all the messiness, all the things that have been hard, and seeing it as actually in the perfect light
Mm.
of love. What if it's really all about love? What, like, we are so loved that we are gifted these challenges so that we can expand our souls even more
Hmm.
to the greatest degree that we're able to in this particular lifetime that we're living.
In this particular human incarnation.
Human,
Yeah.
and whatever we're given. Some are given 6 months,
Mm.
some are given 10 years, some are given, 100 years,
Hmm.
and everything in between.
Hmm.
But in this life that we're living right now, my question always, what am I here for?
Mm. I believe that for those who are really committed to their own healing journeys, that as we are willing to sit in the discomfort of our own pain, most people are so committed to escaping the pain that they have been feeling under the surface their whole lives. So we as human beings spend our lives running away from the pain. We run away from the grief. We run away from our tikkun. We run
It's like,
into
I don't want to look at it. I don't want to feel it. So guess what? It doesn't exist,
so we run
but it
into
does.
ways that we can numb ourselves, ways that we can distract
So
ourselves.
why do we think about, like all the addictions that in this world that we live in, all the distractions? I mean, if you look at social media. Isn't it
Our
easier
whole
sometimes just to just sit down there and like find yourself like, oh my God, it's been an hour and I'm like scrolling on Instagram.
Well, our whole world has been constructed so that we as human beings don't have to face all of this stuff, like the conveniences of life, the distractions.
You know what it becomes? It's a choice.
Mm.
It's a choice that we get to make.
I
It's
mean,
either this lifetime or another. I don't know. I'm kind of in for like doing as much as I can in this lifetime.
well, and this is one of the reasons that you and I have intentionally, we've stepped out of a lot of old coping mechanisms
Yeah, we have.
that we used to reach for. We've also stepped into a tremendous amount of silence. I don't think I've ever had so much quiet, so much silence, so much peace.
Mm.
And a lot of people actually can't live in quiet. They have to have, a radio going. They have to have
Television going.
the
We don't even
TV
have it.
going. I haven't owned a TV in the last 20 something years
We hike on top of a mountain. We
in
we
quiet.
in quiet. We read books.
These are things that were not necessarily normal before. I mean, you and I also, something that we haven't talked about here yet is, you know, I lived in Italy. I have loved wine deeply throughout my life.
Deeply.
I've been in a very
You
committed relationship with
you guys have been
wine.
like this.
And you and I have, over this journey, ever since we started MDMA, we stepped more and more away from drinking alcohol. And I don't think you and I have had a sip of alcohol in almost 5 months.
At least. I don't even know. I mean, it's not like the highlight of my day or week, or I don't even think about it
Mhm.
actually.
Yeah.
And the reason, honestly, truthfully for me, I've had some rattles about, learning more about the neurology and how it's
Brain
not
health.
brain
Yeah.
health and all
Yeah.
of that. It's kind of a thing
Yeah.
these days, and being sober is kind of a thing. And I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can let go of my wine, especially, if we go to Italy. I mean, my
Well, okay.
God,
If we go to Italy, we're probably going to drink some wine,
we'll
juice.
probably yeah." And there's nothing wrong. We're not trying. I mean, it's nothing
No.
wrong with drinking wine. It's everybody's choice. It's just what you said earlier, is that we just are not reaching to some of the coping mechanisms or the numbing mechanisms that we once used, just to kind of dull down a little bit of the angst of life.
To use as like a transition between work and not work,
Yeah.
to say, oh, it was a stressful day, I'm giving this to
Ah,
myself, I'm just gonna, like, I essentially, it's like I can't handle my own nervous system, so I need an outside agent in order
yeah,
to be able to
yeah,
numb myself a little bit or dull myself a little bit.
exactly.
So anyway,
That all being
that all
said,
being said, what I really do believe is that the more that we are able to face our own discomfort, sit in the pain, sit in, and all of this,
it,
um,
it sounds pretty
it
horrible,
sounds horrible. One of the
but
things,
it's really not.
honestly, I wasn't able to do this even close to how I'm doing it now if it before the MDMA. My ability to sit inside of my own discomfort and look at my patterns and bring such love and such compassion to myself,
And clarity.
it's been the most freeing experience of my life thus far. To the point that, as I have said before, I will forever look at my life now as pre MDMA and post MDMA. It really is like a complete rebirth. But what you and I have seen is that for those people that are really committed to their healing journey, what eventually naturally evolves is that we must turn our pain into purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the thing. This is, why, like, my whole thing, my whole life has been, what am I here for? All of the pain that I experienced throughout my life, starting as a little girl, there has to be a reason. There has to be a purpose. And my life has been led by that. Honestly, it's been led by the pain,
Mm.
um, because it just it gives me meaning and purpose to be able to understand my own, to sit with my own, and then to be able to sit with others too, and help others to, like, free
It's
themselves.
it's the way that we alchemize the things that we have come in with and that we have suffered with into a higher order. So,
Totally.
I'm thinking of so many coaches, therapists, addiction therapists, people that I know that
Trauma
trauma, like that,
therapists.
there's like, we don't get, and I don't believe that anyone is listening to this podcast that's not a helper or a healer in their own capacity, in some
Yeah,
form,
yeah.
whether you're doing this as, a job, as a way that you're actually making money or not. If it's just like an avocation, it's just a calling that you have, and it's just who you be and how you show up in the
It's what
world.
you know about yourself. It's what you know is your guiding light.
But I don't know anyone who is out there truly as a helper that is doing their deepest soul work and really helping to transmute and to alchemize pain into a higher, into something that is bringing a healing balm to the world, that hasn't gone through the fire themselves. Like, there's a
Oh,
reason that they have
absolutely.
stepped into that work.
Absolutely. And there's a reason why our listeners that are probably grabbing onto every word, because
Yeah,
they say, "Yeah, me
that's
too.
me. That's me.
That's me. I
And
get it.
and
That's me."
maybe this is your invitation to go even deeper, to give yourself permission that this isn't random. I
To
think that's
find resolution. on the other side.
Well, and to believe and to know and to trust that what you have gone through is not random, that there is a higher order purpose
Yeah.
to it. And that I believe that when we switch from, bringing from just experiencing our own pain and then moving it into purpose, being able to transmute it into purpose, that is in essence the completion of our tikkun. It's like, when it really, I believe, is the ultimate purpose of life. It's like when we find healing in ourselves, what the real purpose of life is then we then go and bring it to other
I
people.
was going to say, and then we share it with others. And that is where all the little tikkuns start to like come together and heal together. It's almost like those synapses that like neuroplasticity.
Right. Yeah.
Just
Like
got
we
that vision,
form
like
we form new
we
connections.
form new connections.
Yeah. What we will leave you with to ponder for yourself today is, what if this theme, this pattern that continues to circle back, that feels like it just won't go away? What if this is not your failure, but actually your initiation? There's a quote that I love by Marcus Aurelius, and he says that the impediment to action advances action, and what stands in the way becomes the way. And I think that's so profound and so beautiful. And that has absolutely been my experience, that it is the thing that feels so immovable, that feels like it's the Mount Everest that's been placed ahead of us, that feels like, I don't know how I will ever overcome this thing. It just keeps coming back. No matter what I do, it keeps coming back in the face of all of these different people in front of me. It just keeps circling back. And I don't know how to get out of it. It's like the Buddhist idea of samsara. It's just like this, it's like we're circling the drain with it. But what if that thing that feels like it's standing in the way literally becomes the way? Because that has been our greatest, because what we know to be true is that whatever it is that feels like is the greatest obstacle or the greatest pain or the theme that just won't go away, that actually is a breadcrumb. It is a clue as to what your ultimate purpose actually is.
And as Marcus Aurelius says, the obstacle is the way.
It is the way.
It is there to grow us, to teach us, to invite us to step in to our greatest glory of who we really are.
It actually becomes the roadmap.
It does.
It feels like it's the roadblock, but it's actually the roadmap forward.
And perhaps many of us have been seeking our life's path for many, many years. And what if it has always been there all along, and it is literally right before us,
hiding in plain sight?
And all we need to do is just take the next step.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been wonderful.
We'll see you in the next conversation.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.
Thank you so much for listening to The Becoming.
We'd love for you to join our growing community. Please subscribe to the podcast, share this episode with a friend, and leave a 5-star review.
It truly means the world to us and helps others to find their way here too. We'll see you in the next episode.